Here's your daily reminder that the Democrat Party and woke corporations think black people and brown people are too stupid or too helpless to have a photo ID to vote. Hello once again, all my fellow patriots and you filthy leftist stalkers out there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela Box. You're watching Angela's Soapbox, where I always say what you are thinking. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, liking or rumbling this video, commenting on this video, and of course, sharing this video, especially with your filthy leftist friends, because they truly hate my guts, and for me, that's a badge of honor. Let me move this around. Adjust the titties. Okay. Sorry. All right. The sea turtle killing plastic straw for this video. It's going to Lizzo. Lizzo, the new beauty standard, and so much more. Lizzo, you're getting the sea turtle killing plastic straw. Let's discuss why, shall we? Okay, so as you can see, actually, you know why, because I put, oops, what was that? My light just went out. Hold, please. Did you see that? It was like, God was like, I'm gonna smote you down. No, the light just went out for a second. All right. You know why, because I put the screenshot at the beginning, but Lizzo was in Nebraska being Lizzo and doing a concert and looked, how do I want to say this? Not the beauty standard for young girls, let's put it out there. She looked like a fat prostitute with some insane costume on. And look, she said that, you know, trans kids need to be who they are, and don't worry about what the governor just did, because the governor of Nebraska was one of the latest red state governors to sign legislation to ban gender mutilation surgery for people under 18 years old, which I guess is really terrible, according to these lunatics. I mean, guys, this moment we are in, where we're at peak gaslighting, peak insanity, where we have, on the one hand, the alphabet people telling little kids that they can change their gender, and now about 20% of Gen Z kids and whatever the new generation, Alpha, I don't even know, whatever the young ones are, they identify as alphabet people, and the higher than ever identify as transgender, which I wonder why it's so weird. I mean, it could be because of our culture shoving it down their throats 24 days a day. Nah, couldn't be that. So we have that, and then we have the body positive movement, which, as I made mention, has set women back 100 years, if not longer. Because look, guys, I don't make the rules, okay? I don't make the rules, but the rules exist. And here's a rule. People are, generally speaking, not attracted to fat people. I mean, sorry, they're not. That goes for men, that goes for women. And I have talked with people I have dated in the past. I'm one of the fixers, right? I'm like, oh, you should do this, and if you did this, it would be great. There's been one person I can think of off the top of my head right now that I haven't wanted to change anything about him, and that's like few and far between. But you know, I don't want to date a fat guy, all right? And guys don't want to date fat girls. So I think that the body positive movement and the transgender movement are the two things that are warping the minds of our children today more than anything else. And guys, it's by design. They want to create, as I mentioned before, a generation of people who are fat, lazy, dumb, woke, confused, and compliant, okay? They want all of that and rolled into one messed up person, all right? So whether we're talking about Lizzo being morbidly obese, got to be pushing at least 350, if not more, walking around in outfits that only like the skinniest girls should be wearing, and frankly, probably those girls shouldn't be wearing them either, unless they're on a pole somewhere, to the transgender movement, which is so in your face, so out of control. This is communism, this is Marxism, whatever you want to call it. It's all by design. It's to create a generation of children who don't know what direction they're going and who don't know who the hell they are. And when you are confused like that, you're much more easily controlled. Now, this last week on my show and on my radio show on 1070, which you need to be listening to, the Angela Box Show, it's so cool, y'all. Like, the people that do the promos, who cut the spots, who cut the voiceovers for the show, it's so cool. Like, you're listening to the Angela Box Show. I'm like, yes. Anyway, It's happening, people. It's happening. Listen, you watching right now, and if you've been with me from the beginning, trust me when I tell you the momentum is building. It's about to happen. So you've been with me from the beginning. Isn't it cool? Anyway, okay, so on 1070 this weekend, and also on Angela's Soapbox, I had on Chris Beck, who is a former Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 6, and he had all this PTSD and confusion and things like that. So when he left the military, he transgendered, and he was just celebrated and feted by our media, and he was given speaking engagements at $15,000 a pop, and he was on the same speaker circuit as Fauci and whatever. And then the minute he met this girl named Courtney, who basically helped turn his head around, the minute he realized what I'm doing is literally insane, and I need to stop this before it goes any one step further. He had not done the, quote, bottom surgery, thank God. So he was just walking around dressed like a girl. And isn't it funny how the left and the feminists tell us that there's no such way of being a woman, and that, girls come in all shapes and sizes and ways of dressing and ways of behaving, which is true. Then why is it that the trannies are only cosplaying the hot girls? Like, why are you only cosplaying the girls who dress up and wear makeup and wear heels and all that? And instead, why don't you cosplay a dyke lesbian? Because then you'll look like a guy, and that won't work for your purposes of being a stereotypical girl. I mean, it's just stupid. Like, when you start to think about the inconsistencies of the whole thing, it just makes your head explode. But anyway, so Chris was talking about how the minute he started to go back to normal and live life as a man, because he's a man, all that stuff dried up. Every last bit of it dried up. He didn't get any more sponsorship deals. He didn't get invited on CNN. He didn't get any more speakers gigs. Nothing. So what does that tell you? It tells us that our dominant culture is hell-bent on changing an entire generation of kids. And again, there's the Marxism aspect of it, and then there's the satanic aspect of it. And transgenderism on its face is a denial of God, is a rebellion against God's creation, because God created every single person as a totally unique individual. If you really start to think about it, the biggest indicator of that there is a God to me, I mean, there's many, many indicators that there is a God, but the biggest one and the most mind-blowing one is that every single person on this planet is a total individual, 100% unique. God created every single person. He knows every hair on your head. He tells us that in the Bible. And most religions believe that God is omnipotent, all-knowing, all-seeing, and our little brains can't comprehend omnipotence. So when you become transgender, whatever, when you start to tuck, and when you start to do all the crazy things that they're doing, you are denying God's creation. That's the bottom line. So when Lizzo goes out and says, it's okay for me to be a gluttonous sloth, and it's okay for you to change your gender, both of those things, gluttony, sloth, and transgenderism, is a direct denial of what God made you. Now, look, if you are a person with true gender dysphoria, and I've said this before, and it's, they used to make, this used to be a very known statistic. 0.005 of people have true gender dysphoria. The rest of these people, again, are cosplaying, all right? They don't have gender dysphoria. They're just doing what's trendy. And for the life of me, I don't know how more people don't see that, but God, the Bible says that they will make certain people blind to things, and I'm like, okay, let me miss the lightning over here as you're trying to warp and enslave an entire generation of children into big pharma, into surgeries that cost $400,000 that go right to the hospital. That Chris Beck said, and I didn't know this, if you go start puberty blockers, and if you start them at all, you will never have an orgasm. You will never have an orgasm. Now, I don't know. I may be misspeaking, because, like I said, he is detransitioning, and I don't know what that means for his sexual life, and it's none of my business. But he did say, if you start on puberty blockers, there's no going back. You can't undo it. If you get a mastectomy, you can't undo it. If you chop your junk, you can't undo it. They don't keep your dick in a jar where you can stick it back on one day. No, it's done. It's gone. And you will never have an orgasm. To me, I'd be like, well, that is Number one reason never to do this. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, that's part of the joy of life, isn't it? But anyway, I digress. If you combine the body positive movement with the transgender movement, you have a perfect storm of crap. You have a perfect storm of denial of God, of rebelling against God, because God does not want you to be, morbidly obese. I'm not talking about 10, 15 pounds, people. I'm talking obesity, okay? You know it when you see it. Let's stop acting like that's a thing that's normal. Let's stop pretending that men are attracted to this, because they're not. They're not, girls. They're not. And fat men, we're not attracted to it either, okay? And let's stop pretending that you can choose your own gender. That would be fantastic. All right, guys, that's where I'm going to leave this video. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one. I will be done. Bye.